Okay, this is my tree, my citrus tree. It's a grapefruit, and I really enjoy the grapefruit. It makes a lot of big grapefruit, and it's not a real sour grapefruit. It's pretty sweet. This tree is several years old, and the tree developed citrus canker last year. Okay, the ag department, the state ag department, had recommended that I cut the tree down. Okay, and I told them I wasn't going to do that. If there's any other alternative, and they recommended to spray it on a regular basis. I think every 5 weeks or something like that. I'll have to look it up. And it's time for the first spraying. I drink grapefruit juice every day, and I'll squeeze it and freeze it. And this tree makes thousands of grapefruit, more than I could actually eat and drink. So I don't want to destroy the tree. Now, the way I take care of this tree is, this is what I use, okay? This is a copper fungicide. Now you can spray this stuff on, and then the next day, pick the fruit. What it does, it puts a coating on the fruit, and it's like a wax coating. It's not poisonous or anything. And then as the fruit grows, you would continue to spray. Okay, and it stops the fungus from getting on your fruit. It's just not 100%, but this tree makes so much fruit, it really doesn't matter. Now, as I see grapefruit with the citrus canker on it, I cut them off and dispose of them. Okay. Now, the tree is just finishing flowering. You can see right here. That's one of the few flowers I'm going to see on here. It's finished flowering, and it's starting to, let's see if I can get where I can see some of the fruit. Okay. See the little fruit? Some of them drop off. But this is the time to start spraying when they're small like that. This will be my first spraying of the year. And like I said, this tree has got a lot of fruit on it. They're all hidden under there, but there's a lot of fruit. A lot of fruit. And what it is, this is the time to spray now. Now we got enough water. We did have a little dry spell, and that could be why some of these are falling off. Right there. And as you see, there's plenty of fruit. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to give it a good spraying. You wait for a day when it's not real windy, of course. And like I said, it's not poisonous. The spray is not poisonous. So now is the time to spray it. And like I said, you can't get rid of the citrus canker, but you can control it. Okay. Well, I found this side of the tree. This side of the tree seems to have the most citrus canker. So I'll really watch this side. Now you can see the fruit, but the tree is covered with fruit. Okay. So we're going to give our first spraying. We waited till after all the little flowers had fallen off. Now that the flowers are off, it's time to start spraying. Anyway, that's how we're gonna do it. We're gonna spray it. It's a big, beautiful tree, and I don't want to cut it down. Now, if you don't handle the citrus canker, it can destroy the tree, and it'll spread to other trees. And that's why they recommended to cut it down, destroy it. I don't have any other citrus trees that I know of in this area. Of course, the wind can blow the citrus canker a long ways. After we had storms that blew a lot of the citrus canker in here, that's when the tree got citrus canker. For years, this tree had absolutely no problem. I didn't spray anything, any kind of anything on this tree. And I never had any kind of problems with it. This, you can see there's a lot of fruit there. Like, it'll make grapefruit, it'll bend these branches down. It's unbelievable. And a big grapefruit, and they're not real sour, like I said. And I love grapefruit, so. Now this would stand true to any kind of citrus tree that you would have. Okay. Now here's some flowers on this side. A little bit of flowers left, they're probably about ready to fall off. But I picked fruit off of this tree. Once it starts producing, it's unbelievable the amount of fruit that'll come off. I'll give it away. I freeze many gallons of it as towards the end of the season. And what I'll do is if we get a hard freeze coming, okay, like I was saying, when it gets real cold, when our first freeze hits, that's when we pull all the grapefruit off and finish squeezing them and store the grapefruit for the year. I do is I keep a lot of grapefruit frozen, and I drink, like I said, I drink a big glass of it every morning, and I have enough to do the whole year. And I'm gonna show you my stored grapefruit. We live in the deep south. Something else I want to say. So we don't get a lot of cold. We do get temperatures in the 20s, which will destroy the grapefruit. So now also when the grapefruit gets cold, okay, when the weather starts getting cold, they'll get sweeter if you don't pull them, if you don't take them off the tree. You just don't want them to freeze on the tree. So it looks like it's going to drop in the 20s. We'll start pulling the grapefruit and we'll start squeezing it. We'll get all we can get and we'll squeeze everything. That's enough to last a year. Okay, this is citrus canker. If you're wondering what it looks like, that's citrus canker on the grapefruit. This is a real small little grapefruit. That's what happens with the citrus canker. And when we spray our copper coating on here, fungicide, it'll put like a wax coating on the fruit, and it'll keep the citrus canker from spreading. Like I say, you can't cure it, you can't get rid of it, but you sure can control it. And we don't want to get rid of our tree. I planted this tree 20-something years ago. And as you can see, it's a large tree. Look at the size of this thing. Now you can see it's got fungus on it. And we spray the whole tree when we're going to spray it. We hadn't sprayed yet this year, but when we do, we're going to spray all the bark. We're going to spray the whole tree. And it'll help. All right, we'll take a look at our storage of grapefruit. This is my old refrigerator. I have refrigerator freezer I have in my shop. And this is where I keep my grapefruit. And as you can see, I freeze them in these containers. And this is going to be enough to last all year, plus what I get off the tree. Now these compartments right here were all full. All that was full, and I've been using it. Okay. Well, we still got a few more months before it's going to be, the grapefruit is going to be ready. And I just freeze them in these plastic big containers. I freeze the grapefruit up real good, after I squeeze it. And this is full all the way to the back. These are full to the back. These are full, goes all the way down. So still got a lot of grapefruit. And if I have to buy grapefruit, it costs me probably $10 a week, easy. It costs $10 a week to buy grapefruit and squeeze it. So it's a lot cheaper for me to squeeze my own grapefruit and store it in here. Like I said, I'll have fresh grapefruit. As long as I can get it fresh, I'll do it fresh. And I'll start storing it away in this refrigerator. And then when it gets down to, like I said, once it freezes, gets ready to freeze, I'll get out there and I'll get all the grapefruit I can possibly get buckets and buckets of it. And I'll fill this freezer full. And I'll continue to get it. And then I'll squeeze it fresh and drink it after this freezer's full. And I do that every year. So you can do the same thing with oranges or any kind of citrus that you have. So that's how we do it here. Okay, we're taking a 2-gallon sprayer for our grapefruit tree. And this is what we use. Copper fungicide. Supposed to shake it up good. Open her up. Already shook it and already opened up the top. I've used some of this already. And then we just pour this up to the line. You see that little line right there? That little notch. I'll just pour it up to that notch. Okay, get it. Pull it close. Okay, I'm going to pour this into the 2-gallon sprayer. Pour this into our 2-gallon sprayer. Close this up so we don't spill it. Okay. And then we're just going to simply fill our sprayer. Kind of wash this out a little bit. This stuff is not toxic, not supposed to be. And then we're going to just fill our sprayer up to the mark. Like I said, this is a 2-gallon sprayer. I put on it fruit trees. Fruit tree. The reason is, that'll be close enough to 2 gallons. Read it. Yeah. Okay, don't want to fill it up too much. Alright. We're just going to put this in there, like you normally would do. I have another spray I use for poison. I don't mix them. This is only used for my grapefruit tree. And of course I'll mix it up real good. And you got 2 gallons of this pretty blue mixture. That's gonna go, we can go spray the tree. Citrus canker and my citrus tree. The grapefruit tree. Looks almost dead, doesn't it? What happened, we're in the deep south. And what happened was, we had a snowstorm, which I'm going to show in this series of videos. We had a snowstorm with 1.5 feet of snow, which is extremely unusual for us. We're in the deep south. Well, I was thinking to cut the tree down because it looked like it was dead. Yeah, it's the springtime right now. Okay. It's starting to show some green. Okay. Now there's some trimming on this tree so I could get by here. But it's starting to show a little green. Now I don't know if this is ever going to do anything. I'll have to check and find out. And I'll get back to you. Will this tree do anything? Like I said, it's got a little bit of green and it's starting to up high there. Nothing way up there. I got some there. Okay. This tree is 20 years old. I've eaten a lot of grapefruit from this tree. See the Spanish moss? Spanish moss on the trees. We have that all the time. Like I said, we're in the deep south. There's going to be Spanish moss everywhere. That's cypress trees there. That's a cypress tree. Spanish moss, look at these trees. That's cypress. So anyway, back to where we at. This tree, I'll keep you updated on what it's doing, but the citrus canker, it really pulled the tree down. And then look at the size of the trunk on this tree. It really pulled the tree down. And I did a lot of spraying. Here's the spray I use. I did a lot spraying to get rid of the citrus canker. And so I don't know if it's going to do anything. Anyway, she's been a good tree. She's really put out a lot of fruit over the years. I've eaten, like I said before, I've eaten hundreds of grapefruits off of this tree. So whether it's ever going to put out another grapefruit, yet to be seen. So that's where we are on citrus canker. I'm guessing I'm probably going to have to cut it back. I'm about to get in here, get with my chainsaw and cut a bunch of these branches off. I had to cut some of these. See these branches there? I had to cut these branches to get in. I have a container right there, and I'm trying to move it over here next to my shed where that van is, behind that van. So I cut an area so we could get in here. So keep you updated. Citrus canker, I should say, on my grapefruit tree. Will it live? Will it produce fruit? Yet to be seen. Looks like the project is shut down for now. We have unexpected winter storm. Okay, it's not looking all that good. What I did, I trimmed it about a month ago. As you can see, cut it back, way back. Okay, it was all dead. And probably gonna cut it back some more. So there is some green there. It's not looking that promising. It's kind of cool right now. Here's a little shoot that's green, there's no leaves on it. There were some leaves up there. That's why I cut it that high. but they died. So I got a feeling it's not going to make it. If it does, if we get it where we can start producing grapefruit again, if it does, I'll post it on my channel. I'll put another video. So that's pretty much where we are. Pretty much got it cut way back and just waiting for it to see what it's going to do anything. It's in the fall right now. So maybe this spring it'll do something. The snow killed it. And the citrus canker. Pretty much did it in. We're not giving up. We're still waiting on it.